It's time to head on down to the Quidditch pitch for Community Day. I'm Professor Voqas, and this is Harry Potter Wizards Unite.
Hello, Professor. I didn't see you there.
Before we jump into the guide, there is one thing I wanted to talk about, which was yesterday's video. I talked about the adversaries imminently coming out and some of the new features in that community post. And Harry Potter Wizards Unite Lola did have this one last little add-on, I guess. It just says this blog covers all the feature details. We'll be working on getting the 2.16 update out. And then once they get that out, they can release this thing. They need that update though. So be on the lookout for that update. Make sure to update to that. It'll certainly be forced, I'm sure, before they push this out. And then it says they'll share details on a timeline soon. So just a quick update on where we are on that front, and just the 2.1 update will be necessary for this to occur. So December Community Day is coming this Saturday, December 12th, and it will go obviously 24 hours, so really Friday night, if you stayed up late, 12:01, right after midnight, you could start all the way through, local time, of course. Let's go over some of the basics of the day, and then we'll get into the tasks themselves. Tonic for trace detection, like many community days, it will have 1 hour brew time, and if you use master notes, they'll be 50% effective. So you can get that tonic for trace detection brew down to a really low amount. There will be bundles in the store. Nothing, again, special. There'll just be 3 bundles. One of them is free. Make sure to go claim it. Get you some spell energy and the ingredients for a tonic for trace detection, which you should brew on that day because you can just have that much shorter brew time. There'll be 4 Foundables that will have increased sightings. You can see them next to me here. Thank you, Orange Wizard 2019, for graphics. But it's Quidditch Captain Marcus Flint, Madam Hooch, Slytherin Seeker Draco Malfoy, and then Quidditch Captain Cedric Diggory. So certainly all revolving around Quidditch. And we'll look at that page in the registry after we talk about the task. In addition, they will have special 1 kilometer port keys like we always see. You can see right here. And they will actually drop a guaranteed fragment of the Slytherin Quidditch banner, which appears on the same page as the Foundables that you just saw. Again, we'll go visit the page this mainly revolves around, which is Quidditch Pitch 2. Lastly, if you use the Sports and Games runestones in Fortresses, you'll have an increased chance to get the Quidditch pitch stands and Quidditch Through the Ages. Forest 4 and higher will also guarantee a fragment, so if you're using runestones and those, you're going to get one of these 2. Which means really the Quidditch banner, the Slytherin Quidditch banner, you're going to need port keys for that. Because these other 2 are going to really be the ones you get dropping from there. Forest 4 or higher, although last community day I ended up not doing that and going to some lower chambers, mainly because I could bust them out quicker. So that's a little strategy I used to get those other 2, these 2 Foundables, quicker, was just to run lower chambers. Moving on to the tasks themselves, the first one, you need to defeat 15 foes in wizarding challenges, and that gets you 2 healing potions. And since you're kind of wanting to run those to get those fortress fragments, you probably do that during this time without really even trying. Next up is to use 7 extimula potions, any type, so regular, strong, or potent, get you 1 silver key. It doesn't specify you have to use it in challenges or elsewhere, so you can use them in whichever way you deem necessary. And if you want to prepare for this, just make sure you have those extimulos ready going into the event, mainly so you don't have to brew them and then use them to get this finished. After those 2 tasks, the last 4 tasks all just revolve around returning those Foundables that are going to have increased sighting. The first being return 15 Quidditch Captain Marcus Flint to get you a Barufios, which is nice. Next is to return Madam Hooch 12 times to get 4 Toadstool, which is nice because 4 Toadstool is enough for 2 Barufios. You need other ingredients, but that's generally the ingredient that's a little harder to get. The last 2 tasks are to return 10 Slytherin Seeker Draco Malfoy, which gets you 2 strong extimula potions, and then 10 Quidditch Captain Cedric Diggory, which also gets you 2 strong extimula potions. If you complete all that, you're going to get 3 Defense Against Dark Arts books, 3 spell books, which hopefully will now be useful. For those of us that have run out of use for them, they may actually become useful again in that new training, combat training for adversaries. So I welcome hoarding more of these for sure. Then we're going to get 40 gold coins, 200 wizarding experience, 20 spell energy, and then we're going to get some gifts. And again, the gifts is going to be 2 of each kind. I believe it's spell energy and ingredient gifts. I'm not sure what kind yet, but it doesn't really matter. You're going to get these gifts. But remember, if you don't have space for gifts, you won't get them. You'll be rewarded them, but then you won't get them. So make sure you clear out some space before you open this. Just throw away some of your simpler gifts, regular spell energy, regular ingredients, and then you can just at least receive these to give to other people. Over in the registry, I've come to the page that this whole thing really revolves around, which you can look. I'm on Hogwarts Quidditch Pitch 2. If you've watched my previous videos, you've seen my page on this. So right now you can see up at the top there, 20 out of 20, Marcus Flint, Slytherin Seeker Malfoy, 6 out of 10, so I'm pretty close to getting that image again. Madam Hooch, 15 out of 15, I've got her ready to go. And then Cedric Diggory, I'm ready to go. The Slytherin banner, I'm 11 out of 14. Up at the top of the Magical Sports and Games registry is the Hogwarts Quidditch Pitch, like number 1, but just this. They just Quidditch pitch. Anyway, you can see here also, I just need that Quidditch pitch stand, so I am going to run Fortresses to get that. And then the other ones aren't necessarily going to be appearing more often. So on this page, chances are I'm just only going to get that. I'm not going to really be seeing the other stuff, and if I did, I'm not maxed except for the Snitch, which I'm ready to carry over. So for this page, nothing really to be done. I'm just going to gain that Quidditch pitch stands. Then the next page down, the Triwizard Maze, Quidditch Through the Ages, I'm 6 out of 7. I've never placed this image. I think it's the only image I've never placed. So I just never run Fortresses with Magical Games and Sports. Honestly, I'm probably going to have that 7th before this event starts. But again, this is another page where I'm not worried about getting the other Foundables first and then getting this. So when going into the event, I can just not worry about it and just run those Fortresses and get this, and then move to the next page, and then just gain as much as I can to just at least get a head start on that. Now, this page, the main page that we're talking about, if your page looks like this, like mine does, this is how I go into an event like this. When we start the event, I can get port keys and I'll be able to walk them to get that Slytherin Quidditch banner. But in the meantime, as I get these other Foundables, I'm kind of wasting fragments because I'm already max fragment and I don't need family XP for this. Me getting the extra family XP doesn't help. I need to be on the next page. So for me, I'm actually going to run enough Fortresses and I'm going to have that Slytherin Quidditch banner 14 out of 14, and I'm going to place it and move to the next page before this event even begins. I need to, so that I can get Draco and Cedric and Marcus Flint and Madam Hooch. I can get all of them on the next page, because I'm not going to place any of these images. I'm going to carry all these fragments over, mainly so I can then hopefully get enough port keys to try to get more of the Slytherin Quidditch banner. I may not even make it past silver, but I want to get as far as I can and then bank as many port keys as I can. So I'm also trying to clear out my port keys to make space so that I can just stock up on it, even if the event ends, and just have a bunch left over. So make sure to take a quick look at your registry page for Quidditch Pitch 2 and just kind of see where you stand so that you know if you don't want to waste any time like I do waiting for that Quidditch banner and then having all these Foundables available that aren't progressing me in the registry, if that's something you like to do. Before we end this, one more thing I'll mention about adversaries and kind of how it's changed how I play the game in a small way is I now am thinking that wit sharpening potions may be useful. So I'm actually starting to gather ingredients for wit sharpening, and I'm going to start brewing wit sharpening potions and stocking them because I think they will be useful against adversaries. It sounds like they're going to be more difficult until you probably work through that tree that they're going to give us, and then they may become less and less. But before that, prior to us really being able to advance in that, I'm guessing wit sharpening potions will be more useful just in that boost you get, because you're not going to be in a fortress where bravery can be cast or anything like that, but they are going to be elite foes. So something to look at, just go look at the ingredients for it and maybe start picking them up off the ground if you've got space, or even start to share some of the space from that. Just something I'm doing. Certainly you make your own decisions, but I would rather have them and have it not matter, in which case I can just use them and then just regain the space, than not have them and say, oh my gosh, I gotta spend some time now brewing these to be able to defeat some of these adversaries. I'd like to be able to beat them on day one. And when that day comes, be assured I will be making a video about my journey against the adversaries, and then any advice I have and any strategies that the community figures out, I will definitely pass on to you guys. As always, thank you guys for watching today's video. I hope you found the guide useful, and I'll see you tomorrow. Knox.